What's up, guys? DC here. Working out is full of positive. You sleep better, you look better, and you just all around feel better. But as you get stronger, sometimes sticking to the same routine can lead to a plateau in results. So sometimes, guys, you got to change it up. You got to keep that momentum rolling, and you can do that with Fitbod. The app creates personalized workouts for your goals. Your goals, not everybody else's. It's not an umbrella. The Fitbod app will make a personalized program for you specifically. And that workout will be specific to your abilities, your goals, and the gym setup that you have available to you. And guys, it helps to keep track of your progress, keep your results. You can't beat that. The powerful tech helps you understand your training better, and it helps you to look back on past workouts so you can really see where you're building and where you're gaining. And guys, the Fitbod app has over 1,000 exercise demonstration videos. So do your workout, and when you get your workout, if there's something you don't understand, we got an instructional for you so that you can learn. There's no excuses. We got you. So it's never been easier to get the results that you've always wanted. So check out Fitbod and get 25% off of your subscription at fitbod.me/DC. That's FITBOD.me/DC. Come on, guys, let's go. It's time to go to work, save 25% off, get a personalized workout. How can it be better? Come on. Daniel Cormier! Another episode of Funky and the Champ. I'm fat. Jamal's like skinny fat. Right? You're skinny fat.
Take it back.
Today I chose violence.
I'm suing. Sue them. I had to mute on for the fight. Sorry, Daniel. I did mute you.
You guys are going to be lifetime enemies because of the shit you say the moment you get a microphone in your face. Bro, you're crazy. What's up, guys? I'm back with my boy Ben Askren. Another episode of Funky and the Champ. Ben, what's up, man? It's been a while. Guys,
not much.
I have been asking this dude, asking. It's been very difficult for me to track him down to get him to do a podcast. Ben, welcome back, man. I guess we ain't paying you enough anymore.
Yeah, I don't know about that story. I don't know about the truthfulness of it, but we'll go with it. We're here right now, so we're gonna talk.
That's what I'm talking about, Ben. But how's everything been, man? How's Amy? I mean, everything is good? Like, you feel like insulting her this morning? Anything? What you got for me?
What do I got? No, everything's great. Yeah, wrestling season is upon us. I don't know if you know this. The college wrestling season started last night.
Yep.
So that was great. Our high school wrestlers got 2 weeks left before they go back with their high school teams. And life's good.
And your boy Keegan O'Toole won another world championship. I mean,
yeah, Keegan. He looked so good. He was like looked his best ever. I was really, I've been coaching since he was 10, but I was still like, dude, he jumped levels. He got a lot better.
This dude is crazy good. Okay, Ben. Prospects and up and comers are part of the game. You saw Keegan as a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Today he's a national champion, world champion. We saw Ian Garry from the brash young Irishman to one of the top 10 welterweights in the world now. I'm looking at my thing. Ian Garry is number 10.
Yeah.
He is a guy that tends to float with his training. He was for a long time at Killcliff down in Florida, but he's fighting Vicente Luque. That is not the reason he is now taking his show on the road. His wife is from Brazil. For a long time, he said he lived in Brazil because he wanted to do jiu-jitsu in Brazil where the art was created. Mm-hmm. He finds himself training in England because he likes the striking of Leon Edwards and his team. Here's the problem. Leon Edwards is the welterweight champion of the world. Now that prospect, now that brash Irishman, who was a lot of talk, but we didn't know if he had the skills, is on his way up the rankings. So what does the champ do? They put him out of the gym. Ian Garry's not happy about this. Ian Garry feels like, why wouldn't you want another guy that's really good in the room pushing you? Leon Edwards goes, no. Ben Askren, who's right in this situation? Is it the champion who says, I don't want another guy that could potentially be a challenger in the room? Or is that short-sighted Or is Ian Garry a little bit misguided to think that a guy at that level would want someone on his heels in the training room every day with him?
Well, yeah, obviously, I think like how is their relationship is probably the biggest thing, because obviously that could be great or it could be bad, right? If the guy's got your back and they're pushing you, it's awesome. But if they're kind of like trying to undercut you, then it's probably not gonna be very good. And so the thing I wanted to know when I heard this is like, how long has he actually been training there? He's like, this has been where he's been since, he was 17 or something. And the answer to that's no. On his Wikipedia, it says Team KF Martial Arts till 2021, and then Kill Cliff after that. It doesn't even list Team Renegade anywhere on there. So to me, yeah, if he's not like been a frequent member of that gym, if he's not been there for a long time, then I don't really see the issue of saying, hey, I'm sorry, but you're not really welcome.
You would put him out. You would say, yeah, as the champ, I don't really want this guy that's the.
It depends on what their behavior and what their personality is. If like I said, if you can feel that they have your best interest in mind, because in MMA you can actually hurt people, right? So if you don't want someone in the gym who's maybe going to try to hurt you or try to do something a little dirty, and whether it was your college wrestling team or whether it was your fighting team, there was those guys who they were a little dirty, and you knew, unless I want to fight today, unless I really want to fight, I'm not going to go with them. But, some days you feel like you just want to fight, so you pick them.
Yeah. So I think I was very close to this, right?
Okay. Yeah,
I experienced it with Kane, and then I saw it with Habib and Islam, and it never became an issue. But we were all day one partners, whereas Islam and Habib started this thing together, all the way back to Sambo with his father. Me and Kane started from the day I started MMA. Cain Velasquez was the man. So it was hard. And when I got to a point where it was time to fight him, I moved down.
Yes.
Where I agree with Leon Edwards is this, my friend. Ian Garry is a tremendous young talent. He's a guy that looks like a future world champion, but he is also a guy that does not have a problem fighting a teammate. So where you may see some guys that go, I don't know if I want to fight this dude. We saw with Aljamain Sterling and Merab Dawal.
Yeah, and I had the same thing with Tyron, where we wouldn't have fought each other.
You guys wouldn't fight, right? You guys would not fight.
But we go way back. That's the thing, Daniel. Like
to college. But Ben, Ian Garry's fighting Vicente Luque. Those guys shared the mats at Killcliff, one of his actual teams, for years. And the moment they were given the opportunity to fight, they took it. So I think that maybe part of the reason Leon Edwards is going, I don't know if I want this guy in my gym learning my skill set, learning what we do as a team, knowing that if he finds himself in a position that he gets an opportunity to fight for the belt, Ian Garry's not going to say no. And guess what? I can't blame him because he does not have those ties to that team.
Absolutely. And it's not like I said, it's not like he's been there for years. It's like, honestly, it feels like he might have just been there for a couple of weeks. Like he might have just wandered in.
He just goes. Ian Garry will do. He just goes. But he normally will spend the majority of his actual fight camp in South Florida. Yes. But in the rest of that time, he's kind of just floating
here and there.
But because of the fight with Vicente, I think he was going to set up shop in England. And I think the champ was just like, no way. Because when you look at it's also
behavior, Daniel, think about this, when Leon's been very loyal to that team and he's been there forever, and you have someone he's here, he's here for a couple weeks here. Who are you going to favor? You're obviously going to favor the guy who's been there and who's been loyal.
Of course. And the coach was the one that told Ian Garry he had to go. Yeah. Ian Garry said the coach said Leon had to go. And Leon's coach. They had that great moment against Usman. Come on, Rock. You got to fight, Rock. You can't let this guy bully you, Rock. And then Leon comes back, gets the head kick. It was out of a movie. And Ben, as Leon Edwards won that belt in Utah, he's on top of the cage with the belt, and all you hear is da-da-da, da-da-da.
Wait, they were playing the Rocky
theme. They were playing the Rocky theme in the arena as Leon Edwards is on the cage. It gave me goosebumps. It's one of the greatest moments that I had ever experienced watching because it was just all so perfect. I don't think Leon's wrong. Past behaviors are what determines how you operate around someone. And in Ian's past behaviors, it tells me that if he gets an opportunity, he won't turn it down. And I don't think he has to turn it down. I think
Yeah.
he's fought to become a champ, and when he gets that chance, he should fight for the belt, just as Gilbert Burns did with Kamaru Usman and
Yeah,
so many
100%.
others. But that was weird though, right? Kamaru actually left, and he was the champion, while Gilbert Burns was the one that stayed in South Florida in that situation.
But wasn't Gilbert Burns the one that had been there forever in that case? Like Gilbert Burns was like an original of that team, and
but was not Kamaru Usman was too. Remember, they were the Black Zillions. They were the Black Zillions. You remember that?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I guess maybe they're both originals. Maybe I don't remember that correctly.
Yeah,
okay.
But Garry took off, and now he finds himself in a situation where he has to figure out where he's going to train for what will be the toughest fight he's ever had, because Vicente Luque is unreal, and you don't know how much he took from the training sessions that he had with Ian Garry in all those years that they were training together. So very interesting development there. Again, don't think Gary's wrong if he gets an opportunity to fight for the belt, but by no means is Leon Edwards wrong, because Leon Edwards does have behaviors to look at in the past where you can actually make a determination.
And Daniel, the other thing with like the kill clip, you see he's fighting his teammates, and I'm not there, so I can't say specifically, but it appears to be in a lot of weight classes they have, 10-ish UFC fighters. And so it's like if you have a teammate like Rufus, I was on Rufus, you were on AKA, and there's, one or two other guys who are in your weight class. It's like, well, there's a lot of other guys to fight, right? I can fight any of these other dudes. No big deal. I just don't want to fight these one or two who I train with every single day for many, many years. But, if you're on a team where they got 10 of them, it's like, well, once you start getting to the top, it's right. You can only fight so many people, and they're all good.
And they're all good. Think about this at Kill Cliff. They have Ian Garry, Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yep. They've got Vicente Luque, Gilbert Burns, and Kamaru Usman, all in the same weight class. It's like at some point they're going to cross paths. Yeah, it's impossible.
100%.
So you have to be okay with it, I'd imagine, training down there. But that's also like one of the biggest issues with a super gym, right? Because like you said, Rufus Sport was a big gym, but there was not that many guys. AKA was called a super gym, but in reality, we were never a super gym. We had 30 guys on the team at most. Kill Clip, they might have 100 guys on the mat out there. That's how big these teams are getting. Factory X has a massive number of guys on the mat now when they're training. So you're going to obviously run into some of these other guys in your weight class. Ben,
I like to go fast too. Let's talk about DERRICK LEWIS.
That's what I was going to say. We are on the verge of a massive heavyweight fight this weekend. Massive heavyweight fight for the belt next weekend. Massive fight this weekend, which could determine a guy that's on the short list for someone fighting for the belt. Thomas Almeida. Not Thomas Almeida. Oh, my God. I called
him
Jailton Almeida. Thomas Almeida was featherweight or something, and they do not look alike. I don't know what I'm talking about. Jailton Almeida, if he wins against DERRICK LEWIS, is going to be a guy that's finished every once. He's been in the UFC. He has been on an absolute tear. DERRICK LEWIS has fought for the belt on a number of occasions. He fought me, he fought Cyril Gane, and he's fought all the biggest names in the sport. Last week, DERRICK LEWIS is in Houston, driving 136 miles in a 50, gets stopped by the police, says it's not a big deal when asked about it at the press conference, because DERRICK LEWIS is a guy that when he talks, we all love him, and he knows how to like make jokes, so you kind of forget about what really happened. What do you make of that on the verge of something so big doing something so dangerous?
Daniel, as someone who also likes to go fast, and you experienced this because you were squealing when I had you in the Tesla a handful of years ago. I love to go fast. I got a lot of speeding tickets, and I realized, I almost lost my license when I was like 21. They sent me this letter, said, "You got too many speeding tickets. We're gonna take your license." And then I called my lawyer, but I said, "Hey, what do I do about this?" And he said, "Hey, let me take care of it." Right, and I think it was kind of a lot of money for me at the time. I think it was like $1,200, but I had to pay him to like go get all of them gone. And then I was fine. Right. And so what I realized is like, well, as long as I'm willing to face the consequences of paying some money. I can just go as
Drive a
fast as I want.
Prius. You had a Prius.
Yeah, and I still went fast. I
You
still
had a
went fast.
Prius.
Yes.
You had a Prius. Now I drove in the Tesla with you in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But when you were driving that Prius, how are you driving fast in a Prius?
You just press the gas down and you go. It's easy. But so hold on. I like going fast too. Have I ever? I don't know if I've ever went 86 over, but especially with the Tesla, not with the Prius, but with the Tesla, it's like, and his man's got a Lamborghini. You just want to press the gas and give it some juice, right? And listen, I don't know. Hopefully, he wasn't in a neighborhood driving 136. But if he's out on some country road outside of Houston and he wants to jam that gas down, let it rip. I mean, he had no strippers in the car. He had no cocaine. He hadn't been drinking. I said, let the man have some fun.
I understand. I understand that desire to drive fast. I guess I don't like to drive fast.
You don't like it.
I don't like driving fast. It makes my stomach hurt. It kind of fucks
really?
with me. Yeah, dude. I was in Josh Koscheck's car one time. He had one.
Yeah,
it was a Lamborghini or something. And the moment they take off, it makes your stomach just drop. I don't like it. Here is what I think. All right. And you might think I'm off base here.
Okay.
I have seen this in so many different sports stars in big situations. When athletes are on the verge of something really, really big and something very scary, nothing is scarier than a fight, a Super Bowl, NBA championship, Wimbledon, nothing. That's when they get into trouble.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods, when he got into his accident, was going to the Genesis Open. He was about to come back after a long time away from the game. We have seen football players do it constantly. Is this one of those scenarios where what's on the verge is so scary that you take risk, and then when you take those risks, it's almost like, if I get into trouble, I don't have to do this thing, which ultimately is so frightening to me. Yeah. But you're doing something frightening anyways. Am I off base here completely?
Well, I'm a little autistic, so I would need the statistics to back up what you're saying. But I think on the other side of that is, we're talking about combat sports athletes and really high paid athletes, and they love risk. They are not risk averse. Driving fast is fun. Like if you said, hey, Ben, you want to go drive fast and you're not going to get a ticket? Yeah, I want to go fast. I want to go as fast as I can. Like, I don't know if I went 86 over, but I definitely just push the gas down and see if I can get to 120 before I hit the highway.
But let me ask you this, though. What's the point in chasing that adrenaline and that rush when you're on the verge?
This is just how we're made.
But you're on the verge of the most adrenaline-filled rush in the, emotion-inducing thing that you could ever experience.
I think that's just how a lot of us are made, Daniel. I didn't know you were so soft.
But not in day-to-day, though, right? But not in day-to-day. Like, you're not trying to do. I know that I need the rush. It's what I've always lived for, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But I don't need the rush every day. Like, I don't need it every day. Like, you need the rush every day. Do you need the rush knowing that you're 10 days away from walking to the octagon? For me, it was like, put me in plastic wrap so I can make that walk. Because when I make that walk, that fills me with what I need.
Well, obviously, I walked to the cage every time I was supposed to. And I think what I think of as non-risky behavior, like I'm chainsawing outside in my sandals. And some people will be saying, holy shit, you're insane. I'm like, well, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to cut my toes. Or I'm going really fast in the Tesla. Most people would say, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. And I would say it's not really a big deal right now. Like, I'm just doing my thing, leave me alone. But I just think that's a little bit how we're wired. And some people let off steam. Yeah, and I think you're somewhat right in that some people relieve the tension or the pressure by doing, whether it's drugs or staying up late or hooking up with women or whatever it is. That is a way they release the tension or the pressure of the moment, for sure, sometimes. But I think there's combat sports athletes just like risk. We like doing dangerous things. That's just who we are.
But But 100, that's dangerous.
Okay, Daniel, hold on. If it's a straight road, he's out. Let's say he's out in the country. If he's in a neighborhood, probably not a good idea, Derek. But if he's out in the country, right, and there's this straight road, and he's driven it 100 times,
bro, I still
jam that sucker.
No, you're so crazy.
What do you mean? Let's go.
I actually
Let's
cannot
go
believe.
Fast.
I cannot believe that you're actually in the corner of drive 130 miles an hour.
Yeah, Daniel,
Dude,
he's got a Lamborghini.
So
what are you supposed to do with that thing? Drive around and look pretty? No, you're supposed to go fast.
You have a Porsche?
I don't have a Porsche. No, I got a truck now. But I did have a Tesla.
Buy Porsches? Why do they buy Porsches?
Because they want to go fast. The people who buy those cars who just want to say, like, I'm rich, look at my car, those are dummies. If you got a car like that, you need to go fast.
Well, Derrick Lewis does really good in terms of what he makes fighting. When you're the knockout king in the UFC history, you do really good. That kind of tells you how much money you could make in fighting without actually becoming the champion. Because Derrick Lewis is like making all that money. He's in Texas. There's no state tax, all those other things, right? So, like, there are some reasons why it worked. But, bro, Derrick Lewis still gets to fight this weekend.
As he should. This should not even be a crime. Unless it was a neighborhood. Then yeah, right.
You always got to come back with unless it's in the neighborhood.
Well, I don't want to run over any kids. I don't want no kids or nothing. I mean, if you hit like a cow or something out in the middle of nowhere,
could you imagine him hitting a cow going that fast? It would explode.
Yeah.
He would die too. Could you imagine Derrick Lewis in that little car? Could you imagine Derrick Lewis in a Porsche? He's huge.
But I thought it was a Lamborghini.
Or a Lamborghini. Is that a bigger one? Or is it a bigger car, Lamborghini?
I think it's still pretty small. It's got to be pretty tight for him.
It's a small car.
Yeah.
It's a small car. Ben, Nate Diaz is having trouble taking $10 million to fight Jake Paul in a mixed martial arts fight. Why? Why would that be? How can the guy from PFL go on Ariel's show and say that Nate is juking and jiving because they offered him $10 million and he won't take it to fight Jake in a mixed martial arts fight? Yeah. That makes no sense.
I wish I would have had that offer.
Martial arts fight lasting any longer than 3 to 4 minutes.
I wish I would have had that offer. That would have been so tremendous. But the thing about Nate Diaz is you got to realize, and I've realized this now, logic's kind of out the window. Like when you expect a logical or reasonable thing to happen, you're like, oh, wait, that doesn't make, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. You would think he would just grab his neck and choke him and we'd be good.
Because he could. It seems like he could.
Seems like that's the case, yes.
Because when Dylan Dennis was shooting on Logan Paul, he couldn't take him down. Dylan Dennis was failing on his takedown attempt.
But in all fairness, Logan Paul was a more accomplished wrestler than Dylan Dennis.
I know he was.
That's factual.
I know he was. I knew that. I actually knew that Logan Paul was a better wrestler. So if he tried to take him down, he would be able to defend. But can Jake Paul defend? Can Jake defend against Nate Diaz?
I don't think so. I would be shocked. But it's $10 million to fight someone. This is what I told you last time. It's like, don't you just like fighting at this point? And Nate Diaz, you boxed him. I mean, you probably made somewhere around the same amount, like $10 million to go fight someone.
So guys are just making $10 million now? Because I was the champion for a long time and I never made $10 million. Yeah. So guys are just making $10 million now.
It's kind of, I think there's more money than, it kind of like feels like we're old. And I guess in all fairness, I haven't fought in 4+ years. But yeah, it does feel like people are making more money now.
A lot of money. $10 million.
That makes me sad. Damn,
it's so crazy when you're at the top of the sport and you're not making $10 million, but you're literally the high mark in pay. Like that was the high mark in pay. And but $10 million was like a pipe dream.
Yeah.
There was a long time where $1 million was a pipe dream.
I don't know. I don't know what Nate Diaz is thinking here. There's more to the story, but you would think if Nate Diaz had some proof of there being more to the story, when the president of the PFL goes on TV and says this, he would say, "Look, you're a liar. Here's the screenshot or the text or something to that effect." Hey, you want to hear a funny story? I got to tell you a funny story, Daniel.
All right, go ahead.
This. You know the P&L, right? We're in the P&L together.
Yes.
Okay, so it can only be P&L member athletes in the tournament.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a code for that. You have to have a code. Okay.
Yes.
So this we have multiple AWAs, and this one kid from another AWA was wrestling for a different team, and so I got on the manager. I said, "Well, how are you losing your guys? Like, why is he wrestling for a different team?" And he said, "Ben, it's your fault." And I said, "Well, what do you mean it's my fault? What'd I do?" He said, "Oh, you told him he couldn't come to a tournament or something." And I'm like, "I didn't do that. That's a lie." I said,
"You're being elitist."
hold on. I said, give me the proof. I said, send me a screenshot or something, right?
Yeah.
So he sends me the screenshot, and this guy sent me a screenshot, but it didn't have my response. He was asking him to go to the P&L, and he said a screenshot of the thing, and it says, we said it $1,000 if you don't know the code. And he said,
Yes.
what is the code to get into the P&L here? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I went and found on my end. And you remember, I don't know if you remember what the code was. The code was all caps, invite underscore only.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I sent him the code. He stopped coming to AWA because he thought I was trying to tell him he couldn't go.
Oh my God.
Can you believe that happened?
That's crazy.
Can you believe it?
Oh my God. That
like,
was the code.
Ben's such a butthole. And so, yeah.
But that's so stupid, though, because that's why we shouldn't make it invite only. That's like the dumbest thing. Like, that's our fault
underscore and all caps.
Invite only. Oh, you got
invite only.
But in the streets, you don't show receipts. And that's why my boy Nate Diaz ain't showing receipts. Because in the streets, you don't put nobody on blast. That's why Nate, for as hard as he is, for as hard as Nate Diaz is, real thug, he gonna just take it on the chin and let that man just talk. Because words are words, and for real gangsters like Nate Diaz, they live by the code of the streets. You know what I'm saying? So don't put.
So he's gonna punch Don Davis next time he sees him.
Yeah, you know what it is. You know what it is, guys. That's my man Ben Askren. I'm Daniel Cormier. Until next time, peace.
Yeah.